Welcome, everybody, to the Pennsylvania Climate Convergence 2022 press conference. This is our kickoff for our three-day event, which commences tomorrow. We expect large crowds to be descending on Harrisburg to march and rally and protest with the festival. And we have Karen Ferridan and some youth climate panelists with us today who will talk a little bit about the coming events. Karen of Better Path Coalition, take it away.
Thanks so much, Deb, and thanks so much, Ilias and Ben, for being with us this morning. And thanks to you and the press for following this important, very important event and action that we're doing this weekend. As Deb pointed out, this is Pennsylvania Climate Convergence 2022. We expect there to be a Pennsylvania Climate Convergence 2023 because we are going to Harrisburg to send a message to our legislators that they are not taking action on climate. We're sending that message to our governor, to our regulators, to every person in our state government who is moving the state in the wrong direction on climate change. It's not just a matter of sort of being stuck in limbo and not taking any action at all. The state is actually moving us in the wrong direction by continuing to support petrochemical development, by continued support of fracking, by continued support of any number of other industrial polluters that are exacerbating the climate crisis, by not paying close enough attention to environmental justice issues, and by supporting false solutions going forward. Things like carbon capture and storage, turning Western Pennsylvania into a hydrogen hub, building a petrochemical plant that's a gas to gasoline facility, the first of its kind anywhere in Pennsylvania up in the eastern side of the state. I mean, we're just going in the wrong direction fast, and it's got to stop. And so we were challenged at the Better Path Coalition when we first came up with this idea to do an action during a pandemic, but we feel like we need to. So we have planned everything outdoors. The first day is a festival intended to not only put pressure on our government, but to draw in other people who might want to engage and haven't figured out how. But we also want to keep people protected as possible. So we planned everything outdoors. It's at Riverfront Park in Harrisburg between Market Street and Forester Street. We'll be all set up with tents and everything. So if we do have a little bit of inclement weather, we'll be fine. We'll be all covered up. But that's the way we felt we could do it safely. We're also bringing in some people by bus, but we're not filling buses. We also have people staying at a cabin, but we're not filling the cabin. We're doing everything we can to keep people safe, but to bring them together in this time when it's so necessary to be talking about climate change. We are just out of time. And so we'll start with the festival, like I mentioned, and then on Sunday we'll march. We'll go to the Capitol after having a few more panels in the morning, and then we'll have a concert by Joe Uline and the Uliners at 12:30. But then we'll march, and we'll go up to the Capitol and preview the climate clock. We have a climate countdown clock that we will be installing in the Capitol the next day at noon. And we'll have another press conference then. We hope you'll join us then too. So we're going to be sending a message to our legislators by installing this clock right outside the cafeteria where they eat every day, where Governor Wolf also eats, by the way. And they will come out, they will see this clock ticking down the time that they are wasting, the time that we won't get back. And so they'll have to see that between now and the end of the session at minimum. And that clock is our footprint. That's the thing that we're leaving behind that will give us time to plan the next action. Because like I said at the top, this is just the beginning. We're going to be there with sustained actions, with escalating actions until they act. And so that's the big plan overall, but I wanted to introduce you to some of the people who are going to be participating. And the first is one of the panelists. So on Saturday, we have a long lineup of panels and all sorts of great actions going on. And one of our panelists at the beginning of the day on a climate panel, and at the end of the day on a youth climate leader panel, is Ben Hunkler, who is with the Ohio River Valley Institute. So let me turn it over to you, Ben, to explain why you think it's important.
Thanks, Karen. We're coming to Harrisburg this weekend because we are the children of the fracking boom. Our young lives have been irreparably altered by the breakneck acceleration of shale gas drilling in Pennsylvania. In the last decade, we've endured polluted air and contaminated water. We've watched our downtowns wither and our communities disperse, and we've been forced to move away from our homes in search of economic opportunity. The Convergence this weekend represents a chance for us to come together to share joy and sorrow, pain and hope, loss and triumph, and to imagine a world where our families and communities are no longer treated as the collateral damage of the fossil fuel profit motive. Our generation isn't the first to suffer at the hands of oil and gas companies, but we're coming to Harrisburg this weekend because we intend to be the last. We can't afford to pursue these false climate solutions, as Karen mentioned, like hydrogen and carbon capture, which are exorbitantly expensive, they're technically unproven, and they're a poor means of decarbonizing both Pennsylvania and the region's economy. We need an accelerated transition to renewable energy, which includes widespread energy efficiency retrofits, investments in storage technology that will actually create jobs and help place Pennsylvania and our region on a path to shared prosperity. We need our Pennsylvania legislature to get things done, and we're counting down the hours they have left to do so. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Ben. And one of our other panelists in the evening on Saturday, on a panel that will be moderated by Will Bunch of the Philadelphia Inquirer, is Ilyas Khan. He's in Pittsburgh with 350 Pittsburgh, Sunrise Pittsburgh, and he's going to talk about his role not only on the panel and why it's important, but he's going to be one of our rally speakers, and he'll be speaking after the march on Sunday and at the Capitol on Monday. And so take it away, Ilyas, and sorry for the misaffiliation. Take it away.
No worries. I'm Ilyas Khan. I am fresh out of high school, recent high school grad, and I live here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I am coming to Harrisburg with a bunch of young friends of mine because a friend of mine recently said that a lot of people say that hope creates action, but really it's the other way around. Action creates hope. And we here in Pittsburgh are desperately in search of hope. Right now in Pittsburgh, just last night, there was a hearing on bringing a bill that would ban fracking in Allegheny County public parks out of committee. And that is common sense legislation that should have been passed decades ago, and we're still fighting. So here in Western Pennsylvania and across the state, people are looking for hope. And this moment is a moment to be hopeful. Not only is it a moment to recognize our past, but it is a moment to envision our future. That is why we're going there. That's why the youth are going there. That's why we're going to be speaking with you. That's why we're going to be engaging with you. And that's why we're going to be there not only to receive hope from you, but also to give hope to you, to give back to the community and be a broader part of it. Pennsylvania has been divided not only geographically, but politically over these past 10, 15 years. And it is about time that we stop making these divisions into the source of our stagnation. As a state, we are at risk in many, many different ways from this crisis. And now is a time to envision how we're going to work our way out of those problems as a team, as a state, as a wider community. So that's why we're coming. That's why I'm coming. That's why I'm excited to be a part of this panel with Ben, to expand my community, to learn from each other from different parts of the state, and to really be a part of bringing hope and receiving hope in this amazing convergence and exchange. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you so much, Ilyas. And so just to close, I wanted to say that one of the reasons why we feel particularly strongly about it, Better Path Coalition, is, we've had our orientation in fighting fossil fuels and fighting the petrochemical development, fighting fracking, pipelines, and the rest of it. And, for us, we have recognized since the beginning, and, it's a frontline and grassroots-led coalition, so a lot of people there are living this, just as Ilyas and Ben are in their western locations and in Ohio. We see that we talk a lot about in Pennsylvania when we do talk about climate, and it's rare that we do. But when we do, we talk about consumption. And we're not going to solve this until we deal with production. And so I just wanted to underscore that really important point that we are not paying attention to the right parts of the issue. If Pennsylvania is going to be part of the solution and not continue to be part of the problem, we need to deal with the production side of things. And so we're happy to see you. As Deb said, come to the the table that will say information. There will be press kits there for you. We'll also have everything online. In fact, it's there already. If you visit the press page at PennsylvaniaClimateConvergence.org, you can see everything that you'll need, so you have all the background that you need. But please, please stop by. We're looking forward to seeing you. We're looking forward to seeing everybody that we haven't been able to see for the past 2 years, and all sorts of new friends that we've made along the way and we'll be making this weekend. So thank you very much to all of you, and thank you to the press, and have a good day.
Thank you, Karen, Ilias, and Ben, and everyone. Here we go.